Alrighty. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another weekly roundup with Immutable Holdings. My name is Billy Baxter. I'm the head of corporate development and operations.
And I'm Jordan Freed, chairman and CEO. Billy, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Jordan. So we took a little bit of time off there the past couple of weeks, holiday season. Now, it wasn't like we took a vacation. We were busy working away, but we just figured we didn't quite have the best environment to record the videos, but obviously a lot was happening towards the end of last year. So Jordan, for today's episode, I was just thinking, we could probably spend an entire time here talking about what happened in 2022. I think we've done a pretty good job at covering it over the past couple of weeks through these weekly roundups. And also there's some wonderful resources out there about what kind of took place in 2022. What I want to do for this episode is just kind of look at prospective. What do we have ahead in 2023, considering we just started the year off and we're in a very interesting place for crypto markets overall. And then also, talk about some of the things happening with Immutable Holdings. So to maybe kick things off here, Jordan, what are some of the things that you're most excited for in 2023?
Yeah, so as you know, we had a really fun and entertaining year in 2022 in the world of crypto. And I hope that people listening to this can understand, Billy, that we have a conversational tone in these updates, and that I think one of the best ways to handle a market like the one that we have just seen in 2022 is to try to laugh about it, is to try to find some humor in it, because it really was a difficult year. So as much as when I say it's fun and entertaining, I mean that it wasn't boring. Of course, it's not fun and entertaining to see our market caps in the crypto space drop, including that of Immutable Holdings. But why I feel like we can have this somewhat more playful, jestful tone is our future is very bright. As we've said in previous company updates, we've stashed enough cash on our balance sheet to continue to build and hit our roadmap. Our businesses continue to grow. We're fast approaching I think probably the top highlight of what I'm looking for, Billy, in 2023 is the public beta of NFT.com, getting that to market. We've seen in just the past week, NFT volumes not return to where they were, but we've seen daily active user numbers of NFTs more than double in the past 7 to 14 days. So just past week to 2 weeks. And there's some exuberance, there's some excitement in the market. People are excited about being able to buy a CryptoPunk or Bored Ape, for cheaper than what they were previously. And people are excited about what these communities are building together, including that of what Immutable Holdings is building and releasing to market. People continue to buy profiles and all of that. So I'm very excited about NFTs. I will quickly just share, I took a list of, and I actually put this on a Twitter thread, but there's really 8 use cases that I'm excited about. I don't know if I should cover all 8 here, Billy, or maybe we can, but maybe I'll give you my top 3 that I'm excited about.
That's perfect.
Use cases. The first is, and again, if you go follow me at Jordan Freed on Twitter, you can see these, but one is video games are a natural first starting point. Players are very excited about the prospect of owning things on the internet. And if you study, I think, the development of modern economies, one of the most surefire ways that economies start to develop very quickly is when private property is protected, and very clearly protected, codified in the law. And one of the great uses of NFTs is to codify private property protection, both for physical property and digital property, like these JPEGs that we've seen, but also to do so for digital property, like in a game. So to be able to own a piece of real estate, to be able to own your identity, or to be able to own, a rare item in a game and own that as an NFT, and maybe take that to a market outside of the context of that game, or maybe a market just for that game where other players can buy and sell these items. That's really, really, really powerful. And as someone who used to game before, this little thing above my head here is my name in RuneScape font. RuneScape was still is a big, massive multiplayer online role-playing game. I think this is going to be impactful for games. The next bit is identity, and this is something that NFT.com is directly working on. It's the tokenization of your identity. Today, all of us log into web applications and services in a very lazy way. You may use your Apple ID or your Facebook ID or your Google Connect to just log in using, if you're already logged into your Gmail account, you just click and you log on. I think we're moving in a world where those log-on credentials will be owned by us and wallets as NFTs. And we're doing that with NFT.com. So NFT.com/Billy or Jordan, you can own that as a token. And then when that token's in your wallet, you can log on to those web apps. And then listen, there's 8 of these. So I'm just scrolling here to see what my next favorite is, because I didn't put them in any.
Narrow it down to one more.
Yeah, I'll narrow it down to one more.
Well, worst comes to worst, we'll also put a link to the thread down below, so you can always refer to it.
I'd probably, just because I think it's such a massive opportunity, I'd probably jump to physical assets. So, I just closed on a property here where I live in Puerto Rico, and the process for getting a title deed is so burdensome. It takes such a long time to like transfer titles and to move them from one owner to the next. And, just having titles to a property or authenticity certificates to rare items like Chanel bags or Rolex watches, there's going to be a massive shift when you buy these luxury items. A lot of these luxury items come with these, certificates in paper form or in card form. These are just ripe to be NFTs on a blockchain where you can verify that authenticity, see everyone that's owned that Chanel bag or that Rolex watch or that property that you just bought before you. And I think that's really exciting. So those are my top 3 NFT use cases for this year. The final thing, Billy, I'm sorry for monologuing, but the final thing I'm really excited about in 2023, and I'm excited about a lot of things for 2023, but the last thing I'll share here is maybe the growth of coffee and crypto. So I think we explained what this set is. We just released our trailer for the Coffee and Crypto podcast. We decided, because the newsletter is now over 34,000 subscribers and continues to grow at a really rapid clip, we decided, this would be a really great thing for us to take the information in the newsletter, which is, funny and informative at the same time, but do it in audio form. So we're looking to do 2 times per week. Look out for the Coffee and Crypto podcast coming soon to you at the end of January of this month of 2023. And we will be two times per week. And I'm excited to see that podcast grow, the newsletter continuing to grow. And of course, I think, we've said previously, these 2 things are very synergistic. So for Immutable Holdings shareholders out there thinking, what are these guys doing growing this podcast and this newsletter, NFT.com? Well, as we inform people on what's happening in crypto, there's a great opportunity to put in front of those people's eyeballs NFT.com related content, and then to get them to become users of NFT.com. So we're really excited about the synergy between these two businesses.
Yeah, definitely. And I also just kind of add on to that too. In a lot of ways, it's kind of like having agency over your marketing channels. So by controlling our own channel to communicate with people that are into crypto, et cetera, it gives us a channel to, ultimately leverage for other businesses within Immutable Holdings. So definitely. Hey, Jordan, one quick note. You were talking about some of the use cases about the real world assets and title deeds. Maybe just a little fun fact here, if anyone's not familiar. So Dapper Labs, one of the largest kind of NFT company that's out there. They started off with a very popular NFT collection called CryptoKitties. That's kind of what spawned all the NFT excitement. But originally, what people don't know, and if you go back to interviews that the CEO and founder has had, actually Dapper was originally trying to create title on the blockchain. So title for real estate and mortgages, or basically they were trying to digitize the whole mortgage process on the blockchain. They realized it was just too early to get people to kind of shift over to, using the nascent technology. And then I guess they incorporated NFTs. So they figured, all right, we got to first get people to adopt NFTs, and then we can work on this other stuff. So that's what they came up with, the idea of CryptoKitties. Everyone loves cats. They're really popular on the internet. It's a great way to get started. And since then, they kind of took a shift in a different direction there. But what I thought was really kind of interesting back in 2022 is that there's a real estate company called Roofstock that is trying to kind of stir up things again with digital title and kind of digitizing that whole mortgage process on the blockchain using NFTs. So just wanted to throw that random fact out there.
I love that you shared that.
Yeah.
You're an OG.
So just because we're talking about real world assets there. So, so hey, Jordan, because you kind of touched upon it before, I know we got a lot of things ahead of us, especially for NFT.com. You want to kind of comment a little bit about what is kind of what kind of stuff is going to be queued up in relation to NFT.com once we kind of hit this public beta that's coming up?
Yeah. So we're really proud of how things have gone in the private beta. We have a very active community of testers. These are the people who bought NFT.com Genesis keys, which enable them to get early access to the ecosystem, mint 4 profiles each. Really just as an added benefit of having that Genesis key, and then got all the product releases released to them first. And again, we're still in private beta, so you still need a Genesis key to access that. What public beta means is that you no longer need an NFT.com Genesis key or an NFT.com profile to use NFT.com. And what it will look like is it's essentially an NFT.com native marketplace, but on top of that, we've aggregated OpenSea, LooksRare, and X2Y2 as the sort of the top marketplaces that we've seen most interest from users in. And we've aggregated those marketplaces so that in addition to searching and buying and selling and listing NFTs on on OpenSea, LooksRare, and X2Y2, you also would have that choice of even using the NFT.com native marketplace. So that's exciting. On top of that, one of the original features that we rolled out, which I kind of alluded to, was this idea that everyone can own a piece of NFT.com, that every user could come to NFT.com and own NFT.com/their name. And then to own that as an NFT in a wallet and to be able to use that to log in. But those profiles have also evolved. And I think some of the profiles look amazing. You've got the ability to customize your status and your profile picture and your cover photo, and then how your NFTs are displayed, what sort of gallery format you'd like. I'm very excited about the additional customizations that we can add to these NFT.com profiles, and then eventually social features for how users will interact and eventually transact directly with each other. Maybe a comment that I'd offer on this is we've really gone from a world where social networking was so new and exciting on the internet. These were the days that Billy, you and I were growing up in, where, I remember how novel of a concept it was to go to a message board or to go to MySpace or Facebook and to leave a comment on someone's wall. And we've gone from this whole notion of social networks to now a Web3 world. And, the social networks were really the Web2 world, but now the Web3 world, where we have these decentralized, what I would call unsocial networks, where no one on the Bitcoin blockchain talks to each other. No one on the Ethereum blockchain talks to each other. And I'm very excited about the idea of making networks social again. Making the blockchain social again, because it is a network, much like a social network. It is decentralized and it is owned by the users relative to their ownership of those layer 1 protocol tokens. But the idea that we're all just, random public keys, alphanumeric addresses on the blockchain, that needs to change. We need to assign identities to people, and we need to have the ability to message and interact and transact while still staying decentralized. So I think that's one of the great opportunities, and that's something that definitely keeps me up and excited, that opportunity for NFT.com.
Yeah. And then I'm sure the profiles are kind of like a nice starting point for other things that can be built around the platform. And then we combine social profiles with a marketplace, who knows where things go from there. So,
yep.
Great. Well, hey, Jordan, want to kind of keep this relatively brief. As we were talking before, we'll post the Twitter thread that you mentioned down below, kind of your predictions, use cases to be excited for in 2023. But I guess just before we kind of like wrap up here, what anything else that you're excited for, or things you want to comment about the year ahead?
Yeah, the biggest opportunities, Billy, that I see in the market really come when the market is the way it is right now. I think so many people run from markets in just complete capitulation when markets are metaphorically on fire. And we saw that in 2008. We've seen that in, previous crashes like the 2001 .com crash. And we've seen that happen in crypto more times than I can actually count at this point. This year is an important year for me because it marks my 10th anniversary of not just having my first Bitcoin, but just being in and around this world. It's crazy that it's been 10 years. And I've been doing a lot of reflection on that, just how I would be lying to you if I told you 10 years ago that I thought I would have the opportunity to be doing this full time. And Billy, I remember with you exchanging very early emails on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I actually look back on my Twitter. The first time I had publicly tweeted about Bitcoin was 10 years ago. And that's crazy. Where is it all going from here? The Bitcoin has never gone down as a network. We've just celebrated the 14th anniversary of the Bitcoin Genesis block. It happened on January 3rd of 2009. And 14 years later, we're in this incredible period in human history where some of the smartest minds in the world are leaving university, either with degrees or leaving early, and deciding to work in this sector, deciding to spend their productive hours building applications on top of protocols. And that's not really changing in this correction. There are still committed people that are capitalized, that are actively building or raising capital, that are looking to actively build businesses here. So the boom I'm expecting on the other side of this bear is tremendous. And I think that our opportunity here is to stay consistent, to stay focused. For me, 2023 is a year to build both personally and professionally. My personal goals are to be much more consistent physically in the gym. I often sacrifice, working out for an extra hour of work, but I find that I'm much more productive when I make it to the gym in the morning. And then from a business perspective, it's really a year of laying foundational pieces. And I think for us, that's content. It's understanding that during this time that there's so much fear and uncertainty in the market that we can really be a clear and consistent voice by putting out a daily newsletter, which we've been doing through the crash, through the FTX fiasco, by continuing to put out a podcast, which we're about to release, by continuing to put out Immutable Holdings weekly updates, Billy, like this very piece of content that we're recording. And then I'm looking forward to doing a lot more writing and being able to talk about this in both written form. I really enjoy writing as much as I enjoy putting content like these videos or podcasts together. So this is a year of building those foundational pieces, building that audience, building that traffic to NFT.com, building that search engine optimized domain authority around both coffee and crypto and NFT.com. And I think it's going to be one of those transformative years for Immutable Holdings where we looked a collapse in the eye, stared it down, and decided that we weren't going to be afraid, but we decided to build. And I'm very excited about being, one of those companies that rise like a phoenix from the ashes of a correction like the one that we're going through now.
Or as many will say, 2023 is Biddler season. So, so on that note, so appreciate your time, Jordan. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We look forward to the year ahead. And if you enjoy what we've been putting together, be sure to give us a like. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. And yeah, or Jordan, should they?
You forgot to say subscribe.
Oh, yeah.
Like, comment, and subscribe. And again, please comment, even just to say hello. We will reply to the comments, and we do want your feedback. So please do leave us a comment. And if there's something you want us to cover in the next video, or the next Immutable Holdings update, we will.
All right. Well, thank you all, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks.
Take care.